Hey everyone, Isaac Brooks here with another video, and today I'm going to be going over the results of WWE Bash in Berlin, in which was a pretty stacked card. A lot of really good back and forth matches. A lot of brutal ones, in fact, as well. Which we'll get into talking about just a little bit here. And surprisingly, but also kind of not surprising at the same time, the first match of the night was Kevin Owens challenging Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed Championship, in which they showed respect to each other before and after the match. There was a lot of attempts of their finishers in the middle of it. Cody hitting a bunch of disaster kicks and crossroads, and Owens going for stunners and some pop-up power bombs. Even a point where it looked like Kevin was going to give Rhodes the good old apron power bomb, but couldn't pull the trigger. And of course, Wade Barrett was busting Kevin's chops about it while on commentary, but Kevin was basically telling him to shut up. And then near the end of it, Cody was trying for the Crossroads trifecta, in which which is how he won the title in the first place, but Kevin wasn't taking any of it. They pretty much hit each other with their best moves until Cody hit, I believe, like one final Crossroads and got the 1, 2, 3, and still the champion. And, Kevin seemed a little bit steamed about it, but still gave his respects to Cody. So it'll be interesting to see where everything goes with that. And then next up was another title match. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire defending their tag team championships against Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, in which was a very interesting, well-performed, in my opinion at least, tag team match. Of course, Fire and Dawn having like decades of experience working together as a team. And even though Bianca and Jade have only been teaming up together for at least a few months now, they have some pretty strong chemistry too. Which is what you'd really like to see in a tag team match like that. Because if you don't have good chemistry with your tag team partner, or any kind of partner for that matter, it's not going to go very well. But anyway, a lot of power moves from both Jade and Bianca, and then of course Alba and Isla flying around all over the place. In the end, there was a double team from Bianca and Jade that was enough to end the match. 1, 2, 3, and we got new tag team champions. So probably would have been cool with either one winning, but great to see Jade and Bianca back on top of the women's tag division. And then definitely some brutality ensued following, because it was the strap match between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. And at this point, you can barely even call it a match. It was a fight. McIntyre attacking Punk before the bell could even ring, and of course Michael Cole calling him a hypocrite because McIntyre keeps on saying like, "Oh, Punk keeps attacking me from behind," but McIntyre basically gave Punk a dose of his own medicine, if you will, and whipped him from behind. And of course, a bunch of chaos ensued. Tables getting broken. Whipping each other with the strap. Pulling each other away from the corner to avoid them tapping the corners. But after a very intense and brutal match, and I believe like 3 or 4 go to sleeps from Punk to McIntyre, Punk managed to touch all 4 corners of the ring, and not only that, also got back the bracelet with AJ and Larry's name on it. So a monumental victory, both physically and emotionally, for CM Punk. So that's good. And then one of the German announcers was saying that Bash in Berlin became the highest grossing WWE show ever, which is pretty crazy to think about because WWE has been doing really well with their international shows as of late. And if you think back to like Backlash in France, and of course Clash at the Castle, and all those other international shows, all those crowds bring a lot of noise. And as a lot of the wrestlers stated during like the press conference after the fact, and a lot of like previous events in the UK and Europe, those fans just have like a certain energy to them, and it just makes performances better, and all around makes for a really good show. And that's definitely the case for this one. So a round of applause to the crowd attendance over in Berlin, and all the wrestlers as well. But we're not done yet, because after all that, it was the mixed tag team match of Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, collectively known as the Terror Twins, against, as I believe Michael Cole dubbed them, the Bonnie and Clyde of WWE. Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio of the current Judgment Day. In which, of course, Dom and Liv tried to weasel away out of multiple occurrences. Rhea and Priest pretty much having none of that antics. And of course, as you would expect, a lot of the rest of the Judgment Day came out. Pretty sure it was JD McDonough coming out first. And then I believe Carlito not too soon afterward. Then, of course, Finn Balor had to get involved. But even with all that, it wasn't enough for Liv and Dom to get anywhere close to a victory because Priest and Ripley were just too determined and rageful to let any of that slide. And then they hit a double team move on Liv and Dom, and I believe it was a riptide that ended it all. Not completely sure. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, anyway, in the end, Rhea and Damian got the victory. But I have a feeling that whole issue is far from over. Much like the issue with McIntyre and Punk. I have a feeling that both of those feuds are going to at least continue up till Bad Blood, which will make a lot of sense if you think about it. And then it was main event time. The World Heavyweight Championship being put on the line. Randy Orton looking to capture his 14th or 15th World Heavyweight Championship against the current reigning and defending World Heavyweight Champion Gunther, who of course had a home field advantage. And during the announcements and all that, Samantha Irvin, who was doing the announcements for pretty much every match of the night, or not pretty much every match of the night, every match of the night, was able to do the announcement for Randy. But then as soon as she tried to even start for Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser came out of basically nowhere. Basically did the hand me the microphone gesture and announced Gunther himself, partly in German and partly in English, which was pretty neat, honestly. But in all honesty, it also kind of gave me bad memories of Alberto Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez. But enough of that. Anyway, pretty much as soon as the bell rang, the crowd was going nuts. And I would almost say it was 50-50, but that would probably be a bit of an understatement. If anything, it was more like 75-25. Most of the crowd in favor for Gunther, and then there were some bits of the crowd cheering for Randall. But of course, Orton and Gunther started to go into their playbook for all of their tricks, whether it be Orton with that power slam or even attempts at that draping DDT, that backdrop suplex thing on the announce table, which he also did on the steps at one point. Then, of course, Gunther with his trademark chops and power bombs and that sleeper hold. Orton was at least able to get a few RKOs in on Gunther. And there was one that got a really close near fall. And then at the end of it, Gunther was just locking in like relentless sleeper holds on Randy after giving him a brutal looking chop to the back of the neck. But, yeah, I think, that match has a lot of potential to be a Match of the Year candidate, in which, Gunther ended up retaining the championship, and Orton gave everything he had. And if I were in any kind of creative control, I'd be like, okay, sometime down the line, we gotta give Orton another opportunity at a championship, whether it be the World Championship or an undisputed title shot against Cody, because Orton definitely proved that he still got it. But anyway, I suppose that's gonna be about it for this video. And in terms of my predictions, I got all 5 of them right, so pretty happy about that. But if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and leave a comment if you have any. Share your thoughts about Bash in Berlin, and if you had any predictions, how many you got right. And with all that being said, until the next video, Brooks signing off. Bye!